everything that you need to know about halal property investing. First of all, what even is halal property investing? Well, it's the idea of being able to do something in a Sharia compliant way within the confinements of Islam, meaning that you are not getting involved in interest or riba. What you are doing is doing something that's fair, ethical, moral, and it's based on profit share. That's essentially what we're talking about. So how does that work when we want to get involved in property? Well, personally, I believe there's only three ways that you can do that within property investing in the UK. So we're talking about investment property and not by buying a home. Well, firstly, what you can do is rather than purchasing a property, because when you're buying a property, it requires a certain amount of money, and often people are borrowing that from the bank and then you're paying interest. Rather than buying a property, you control a property. So what I mean about controlling it, you could lease a property, like we could lease this entire office building from the owner, and then we could divide it up into smaller components and rent each of the individual office and units out to bring in more money to us each month than we are paying the landlord. By controlling the building, we can create cash flow. We don't own the property, but we're still benefiting from the property. So the first concept is control. Some people call these strategies rent to rent or lease options. These are all methods of control of that particular property. The second way that you can profit from property in a halal way is to really partner with somebody else who already has the money on a profit share basis. So when we talk about purchasing a property, if it's 100, 200, 300,000 pounds, that money needs to come from somewhere. If you haven't got the money to put in, if you haven't got all the money to be able to put into that particular deal, you can partner with somebody who has the money and you do it as a profit share, a business transaction where you are putting in the time, experience, the effort to make this work. They're putting the money in and you're sharing the risk and the reward of that transaction, of that particular deal. So what that means is, let's say you're going to renovate it and flip it on for a profit. If you make more money than you initially anticipated, you're still sharing that as agreed. And if for some reason, God forbid, you make a mess of it and you make a loss on it, well, you both collectively lose on that. When you're borrowing money from the bank does not take a loss from you. Their money's fixed and you are having to pay back whatever's been agreed, i.e. interest. So this way you avoid doing that. So the second way is to partner with somebody who's got the funds. And that's effectively how I built my business as well, and with elements of control of property. Then the third way to do that is you use some of the Islamic finance products available in the marketplace. Right now, it's very, very limited. There isn't a huge amount of choice in terms of how we can do this, but there are some products that exist. And in the West, in the UK here, we're probably the most advanced when it comes to Islamic finance and products available, but the market is still very restricted. Then, of course, there's the views and the opinions around those products of how halal they are. But that's a completely different topic, depends on the school of thought that you follow as well. But ultimately, that's your three ways to be able to profit from property in a halal way.